Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of OmegaLands. Today we got an episode that is going to be very difficult to do. I am going to just clear out a little bit of this area because we don't need all this. We don't need all of it. We are good without. So we're just gonna go do this first. So yeah, we are making a storage system and a mine that actually goes to whatever. I will have to create the mine all over again. I got to. Unfortunately, unfortunately gotta go and be the one to dig completely straight down, or not straight, completely straight down, but to to make a stairway. Yeah. So this is going to be very complicated. Other than it just being extra room. Excuse me. It's being displayed as an old house, like a ruin, but nature has like taken up over it a bit because it's just supposed to resemble like the mines. So like the basement will be like the lead to the mine, but the other stuff it'll just be packed with like it'll just be packed with like storage I don't need. How I'm gonna organize this, I don't know. I'm gonna have a silly way to organize it. Um, I might just like get a chest, put a bunch of crap in it, and just like make the copper golem do all the work. Like just do all that. Just make it sort it out, and I'll just find what it put for all of it. I think it's gonna probably mess up. We're gonna try to give it a shot. Um, but the thing is, we are pretty low on copper because I decided to make all of this for I don't know what reason, but we'll figure that out when when we're done. Um, but yeah, but we also gotta remember we gotta leave some. We gotta leave at least a couple minutes for this to make the whole thing work because yeah, it needs to be done. The interior, the farms. I think I have enough. I think I have enough hoppers for it. I do have a. Surprisingly enough, I did get myself a netherite. I almost called it netherrack. Um, I got netherite. I don't know how I did it, but I went on a huge enchantment spree. So yeah, that's why there's not a lot of mobs. Um, I went on a rampage and yeah, they're gone. They're gone. So all I did was just like I maxed it out. I just maxed what I could with this sword and with the pickaxe. The pickaxe doesn't have really anything good on it, to be honest. But I did my best. I did my best, and I just tried to get as much. But I always had to leave the area, Pacific, like the whole area, to actually do it. So I just kept doing this over and over for a couple of days, pretty much. Yeah, until I got like my inventory full when I get mad, and I was like, alright, fine, I'll leave. Because eventually, like, doing it too much, I will lag out my whole server, and then, yeah, that's a whole new thing of its own. Alright, so we are going to jump in the time lapse. I know that you guys really like the time lapses very much. I'm kind of debating if I want to just move and then just like it suddenly disappear, but nah, I'm gonna do that for this, for at least this maybe, so we can just keep going, because once we get to here, um, it gets we got this whole hill to do, and we gotta save some of it. We gotta save some of the hill, because that's what makes the build so good in the first place, is this huge lovely hill that just randomly cuts off into a water ravine, and then it gets into a cave. I don't know how that works, but Minecraft. Yeah, by its logic, it doesn't move a bit. So yeah, we'll do this. Get this out of the way. There we go. But I think about this tree would be where I want this to end, because yeah, we're like, as soon as we're done with all of this, we're gonna be working on that bridge, and we're gonna get a lot of progress done. But there's also another reason that we need this little hill, is because it's the other place that curves. So yeah, it's because this is gonna be one whole area, and that's kind of what it is. And then we gotta make a dock to make it actually kind of fancy. But yeah, again, it's also going to be hard, because I think I might have to do it like over here, because you know, because my fiber power, he's gonna either go over here or use the boat all the way to go to my area. So we're just trying to make it visually nice, and my idea, what I was gonna do after when I complete the whole thing, was to draw it, and that too would be a part of like a OmegaLands thing, because I kind of wanted to like show you the vision I had, like quite literally what I thought of. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do for the other place, but it can't be like another house. I think it's gonna be like a store, like more of a store for like a farm, at least, because I think that would be fitting, because you wouldn't, like, you would buy food from a grocery store, so I mean it would make sense. So but yeah, and I also was going to like mess around and possibly like add to the background, because like I know that right here wouldn't just do, and I think it really depends. Like, you could also like cut by over here, and then I can just like make a whole new area that lines up. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that, because that would make it all look kind of wonky. So yeah, it's just like a line that goes to places, and then we gotta move this portal. Unfortunately, I did plan to make like a rock somewhere around here, in the background, to add to the whole theme, because you can't just like have like a plain background, with just a couple of houses. So I was also thinking about like rocks. I know that's such a weird thing to be thinking about at a time like this, but like rocks in the background, possibly a tree. I don't know. Not like a generated one, like not like one of these, like an actual made one, And I still don't know what I'm talking about, so don't worry about it. So let me get all this out of the way, because, like I said, it's there and then it turns. Um, I could, I know this is stupid. I know, like it's been like 10 minutes and I'm already like being all giggly over a stupid idea, but I'm just throwing my ideas out there to show you where my mind processes has went whenever. Yes, and Fiber's joining, because he's a part of the group. We did have a lot more people, but it's okay. So I'm practically just decided to use it just to improve a little. This would have been a lot easier if I just had a flint and steel. Okay, setting the tree on fire. We did start a fire. It was no one knows, and I don't know the lyrics. There we go, the tree's gone. I had to kill nature for that. No! People with OCD are gonna hate me for the rest of their lives for this. Absolutely disgusting! If I can make it. No! Screw this. Just set it on fire, man. Set it all on fire. Yeah, so yeah, okay, I'm done stalling. I'm done stalling. We do need to get this build out, like, finished. It's getting out of hand. I'm getting way too distracted. So, alright. I'll see you guys in the time lapse.
So what I did for this is that I based it off on an old abandoned house that I would use for storage. So that's why it would also have messy stuff inside of it. Throughout this whole video, I was just figuring out where to place blocks, like the dullite and the salarite stuff, and even adding the pale oak wood. Almost forgot what it said, but what it's called. But yeah, I was just also just scrambling for like items the entire time when I was figuring out how to add like textures and all the other stuff that was going to belong on it. As you're seeing, I'm going to my house. I'm just repeatedly going back. I had to also like pause the video and go mining for the copper because I was also gonna add like another layer. I didn't want to make it just one. I didn't want like no mobs to be able to get inside, so I had to block it off and demobify it. But yeah, now I'm starting to work on the door frame. That was such a struggle. After figuring out that I had odd numbers, so that was fun. As we see, I'm adding like shading for the walls, if like, because when a wall gets kind of a little old, it kind of crumbles. So that's kind of what it is. It's just try to show how old the house is and that it hasn't been used for like a long time. And I was just practically just messing around with blocks as I was just doing this. I was just, figuring out what would look nice together and even added like concrete to this. Even tried to mess around on the horse. I wasn't really taking it fully seriously, but I was figuring out a lot, and I actually kind of enjoyed what I put together with all this. Um, the toughest one out of it was to add the concrete because I didn't do that until I finished the ceiling and then like another part of the house from the inside. Because I was also trying to figure out what would line up and what would not. Like what would even look good. And it's also that I was running out of blocks real quickly because like it takes so much deep slate to make a stairway, and like that's just general knowledge, and I was just running out of blocks as all this was going on, and having to like pour water and stay on the house was a struggle. Yeah, I don't know why, but it was a freaking struggle. But I was just putting it together, trying to make it look nice, so I improvised by making the wall seem like some portions wasn't even touched. And to be honest, it worked pretty well. It wasn't that bad, but I did have to like mess around a little bit to add it to me to be like more randomized, because you can't really pick and choose what side of a wall would look nice, because sometimes it will just be in a certain portion what will age and crumble and turn kind of weird. That's kind of what I was using, was more of the textures than anything, as like to present what how old the house was and what the story behind it and everything. There isn't like a huge story. It's just that the house was super abandoned and nature took over it. That's kind of what I was aiming for the build. So that's kind of what I did, was just mix around a couple blocks, move it around, try to make it look more like more like patches. But I was really happy when I did the inside, because when I did the inside, it looked fabulous, because the stairs would curve, but I also made it a whole different room, so you walk into a hallway instead. And I also forgot to put like torches. I forgot to mention that. Like during out this, I forget to put torches until like the very end of where I am building building the floor in, and then like the walls and the other rooms that would be in here. And again, all of it was storage. And the funny part is, my controller died in the midst of it. Man, oh man, I was mad. Um, in the midst of this, there's so much happened. So much happened. I was more focused, to doing that. But for the uh, the greenhouse was pretty simple. I just went with like a normal. I just put 4 or 5 hoppers and put it to make it where it leads to a chest, in case if I didn't grab all the stuff, just so it didn't despawn. I can grab it. There's also like a pathway going to each area, but as you see, I'm messing around with builds. Originally, I was gonna have like, I was gonna have like Sibira. I forgot the name for it, but that type of wood. But instead, I went with deep slate, because I wanted to use all the deep slate and to be done with it. But what I did with this, yeah, I just added a little path. I decided to add like a copper lighting, and it looks absolutely amazing. But the toughest part was the house, but I kind of flew by this quite easily. It wasn't really much of a problem. It was just like mining dirt with like my bare hands, because I forgot I had a diamond shovel in my inventory in some cases, in just me planting and figuring it out. But that's about it, guys. Thank you.
We can say our mission is complete. This was so. You can probably see so much struggle, me trying to figure out what I can do for like color palettes. And I just went with like more of like a worn down house. It's been used, so that's the point of it being all messy. Because eventually we are going to trap a copper golem here. I don't know. It's also going to be used for my horse den, because I don't have anywhere to take it, and I yet to make a barn. But yeah, as you see, it's supposed to look luminal. It's supposed to give out that luminal vibe. And when you walk in, you could chill. It's like more of a chill place when you want to just hang out. And I really like what I did with the vines here, because now you can just, it might mess up because this will eventually go down, but like you can see, it got like that old look to it. I was just like going for like, some like old house, like something like a typical thing you would see worn down by now. But yeah, the copper hasn't oxidized yet. I even added some like little details here. You'll probably hear stuff like that in the speed build, But yeah, these are yet to go to to go green. That's what we're hoping for because that's what they're supposed to. In this too, eventually. But right now, it looks like it's brand new. Surprisingly enough, the door has oxidized, but not anything else. But yeah, it's supposed to just look like a normal house, and it is such a vibe. It is such a vibe when you just like feel like, you just get that. I can't English. No, it's just like when you get that like vibe where you just want to be in a nostalgic area, and then like you walk up here. It kind of like gives off that a little bit. It gives off that vibe. Are you serious? But yeah, I think like I don't know how to go on about this. I might have to move the mountain here a little bit to do it, and try not to get in the house, the point of the whole house, because you come from here, so you'll be looking at it from this angle a little bit. And again, the portal will be like a build, so it will probably be filling the gap, but I'll probably be adding like rocks nearby, like in the corners over there. I just feel like if there's like very conveniently just like right over there, or just one right here that's big, you know. But I didn't even get to make the mines. I don't know where to put them. So if you got any ideas, I could I would definitely run by. I do have like a split corner right there that it's pretty much just like extra space that I just filled in instead of just leaving it hollow because I don't want mobs to spawn in, obviously. So yeah, if you got any ideas where to put the bait, like where I should put the basement, which is the mines, which will hopefully lead to a cave, but I can't make any promises. I did fall into plenty of lava. For this, I kept it basic. Um, I was gonna also add like copper stuff, railings, not railings, but trapdoors. I don't know how I got that mixed up, but I'm just gonna be like putting like trapdoors, maybe like filling the gaps a little bit. So like the pumpkin and the other stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the pumpkin though. I don't know. I just like for this. I just feel like a gas station. I don't. I, I know that's I know that's random, but I feel like a hangout spot, like right here, would be like that's so goofy. I don't know. I'm so like I said, I haven't really planned. I just planned for the house, the greenhouse, and then my actual base right there. Which obviously I absolutely love the most out of all of this. But don't get me wrong, I'm proud of this and this. But we gotta fill in the spot right here. And again, running back the plans because I do forget. And oh, I just noticed that. But this spot right here, this little spot could be good for a rock. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So I'm just going to be filling I just want to fill in the gap, you know. Like, I want it to be scenery. I want you to be able to you be able to glance at it from like a far distance, and it still looks good, a little bit. Like, you know, I don't know how people feel how my building methods, because I build a lot of rundown stuff, you know, like houses and greenhouses. Well, that's my first time doing the greenhouse. My season 1 greenhouse was literally just a big house. It was just a big house. I think I want to put like a palm tree. A palm tree would actually look kind of nice, like in between, or a tree. You know, I might try to get like a little specific with the tree. You know, like to see if it will really like fit in the vibe. Because again, we got a big rock, and I'm not good with nature rocks, especially building it. So yeah, we're just figuring out to fill in the gaps, the final couple builds. Um, and then we got the bridge, and then I think we'll be off to go on another adventure to a bigger build. But I don't want it to be too far though. If it's too far, like, you know, I'll be traveling for miles just to get there. So yeah, but yeah, I can always like turn on like keep inventory, break a bed, come back here, and then go all the way back. But obviously, I will probably need to, you know, coordinates. Sadly, so that's the unfortunate part. But that's also why we saved a book. This will be this will be for the coordinates to the newer build. I think I'm going to make a copy, but um, yeah, there's not really much to say about this. It's just other than the fact that it is completely done, and all it needs to be, what's really need to be done is just figuring out the basement, and we're completely done with the greenhouse and our own base. So yeah, that's the good news. So we're straight to this, and then whatever's going to be here, I got to think about it. I got plenty of time to think. So, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure, but I do definitely know that I think we should just focus on filling the gaps, the open spaces here. So it gives me plenty of time to think about about this, because if I just wing it, it might just end up another house. But yeah, but I am thinking of like a special tree though for the like next to my house specifically. But the sad part, I won't get this view over like what's behind over there. But I mean, I don't think it's really necessary. I guess I get to see a tree. I guess I will see a tree like right here. It's gonna have to be a big. I'm gonna have to make it big though. Dang it. Well, it's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out in the next episode. That's future Clemson problems, not a present. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just assaulting a random mobs for no reason. I gotta go. Aww. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. It looks like we are right on the road to finishing the smaller builds, but it's gonna get just as bigger, because I have a lot of, and I mean a lot of mining to do just to get the big build, the mega build ready because, we're gonna go down nostalgia lane, try to I was actually thinking for this season that we would build nostalgic builds from our previous seasons and we'll just go from there. And so if anyone like once I post out the download for this world, you might just randomly run just randomly run into a build. But I was also thinking of like, making it, in theme. So like the one build that I had for OmegaLands, which was just a ruined house in a jungle, is exactly where I'm gonna be, in a jungle. So that's gonna be fun. Trying to mess around, being in different biomes. But other than that, I think we are done because I don't want to press the issue. I got more stuff. Last life is tomorrow, so see you guys next time. Bye.